It's a game that could well turn out a lot like last week's with Cathedral Prep.
We remember last week's two big teams, two very good teams. St. John's ranked number 4, Brockton number 5. A lot at stake here. There's still some bad blood, some comments from in the media from both coaches, but I think we're going to see a carbon copy of last week's game. Both teams have great running games. St. John's has Andy Fournier, and Brockton with Mike Bourne and Lucian Belanger. Who knows what's going to happen? I can guarantee you this. There won't be more than 5 or 6 passes from each team.
Especially with the wind that's blowing out here today. It's a warm one, but a great one for the fans. We hope you'll stay with us as we bring you all the action just after this.
The little things you do that you think are small and few are the things that mean the most to me. So just keep giving whatever you're giving, 'cause even when you're giving just a little,
if you're doing just a little, you're helping a lot.
it helps a lot.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It helps a lot.
The Eagles just taking the field. The Boxers already out. As we get set to renew this rivalry, you can hear the crowd noise. There are an awful lot of St. John's fans here. Made the trip down from the Danvers, the North Shore area. After a 1-1 series last year between the two squads, there's no love lost.
Definitely no love lost, but I did see Armin Colombo and Jim O'Leary talking to each other before the game. So maybe they've called a truce for today. Should be a great, great game.
St. John's coming in undefeated, and Brockton, of course, with their opening day loss to Susan E. Wagner High School from Staten Island, New York, the only blemish on their record. They've since picked up victories over Plymouth and last week in that big one against Cathedral Prep of Erie, Pennsylvania. But Prep, a good program, well coached. Obviously, they can draw a lot of talent from the area towns.
Just taking a look at their roster, I didn't have a chance to count down, but there has to be about 13 different towns from the North Shore. You got Beverly, Lowell, Hamilton, Melrose, Peabody, North Andover, one from Revere, Lowell. So, you know, a lot of people argue about that, but more in hockey than in football. With the Catholic Conference in hockey, you know, they're like JV programs in college.
Well, I think that's tradition. I think the same thing easily could happen in other sports. And if it just became obvious that that one private school had an advantage because of recruiting, it would happen throughout the region with some of the other private schools. But that really hasn't been the case, except, as you said, in hockey. But good football played up there at St. John's. It was a barn burner last year in the opener of the season, a 1-point overtime win. I remember, too, that was the special overtime format there. It wasn't a sudden death format. There was a name for that. But it was slipped my memory now.
One series and whatever happens. That was a great game up there. A little bit of a shock, but Brockton got its revenge at Boston University, and that was another great game. I think it's time for the coin toss now.
Tim O'Connor and Steve Moses, along with Mike Kent, the captains out there for St. John's, with Lucian Belanger with the Boxers. Let's listen in.
White.
Captains meeting in the center of the field. Co-captains for the Eagles.
Silver dollar,
Prep
red
number
in
10,
the tail.
Steve Moses.
Violence up there, please.
Tim O'Connor.
Head, Rico. I dropped it, that's no toss.
Number 35.
Line it again. Head, Rico. It is a head. White, you have won the toss. You're going to defer. They want the football. Which goal will you defend? This one. Okay, just turn, please.
St. John's Prep has won the toss and elected to defer their choice to the second half.
Once again, the winning team on the toss elects to defer, giving the Boxers the ball. As we start this one, it is a breezy day. It's a little hard to tell at this point how much the wind will be a factor or exactly which direction it's blowing in, but these are not passing teams anyway.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't think it's going to be a factor except for maybe punting and PATs, because you're going to see a lot of ground chuck here today.
Lucian Belanger into the backfield, of course, the Boxer captain, along with Mike Bourne and Jason Mosley. You may also see Troy Semper run with the ball. And for Prep, the number to watch, number 33, Andy Fournier, the senior tailback.
He's got over 400 yards this season in just 2 games. 2 teams from Connecticut. Fairfield Prep, I believe, in reading through the Brockton Enterprise, that they were nationally ranked. And to beat a team like St. John's did, 56-7, a nationally ranked team. I don't know who ranked them. Maybe the National Enquirer had a weekly high school football poll, because I can't see a team like that being ranked in the USA today.
Well, you and I have talked on many occasions about the value of the national rankings in high school football. Really, how difficult it is comparing apples and oranges, and pears and bananas by the time you get across the country.
Well, what did you say before the game? There's 25,000 high schools in the country. I don't know of any one service that can scout 25,000 high schools. So it's all done on name notoriety.
But these are 2 schools that are no strangers to national rankings. The Boxers, of course, found their way to the number 1 spot a few years back before being knocked off by Leominster, but they've been there before. St. John's is also a quality program, and as Steve mentioned in the opening, came into this game ranked 1 step ahead of the Boxers in the top 5 in Eastern Massachusetts, according to the Boston Globe. And we are set to get underway. Steve Moses, the quarterback and all-purpose player for Prep, will kick off. And the 4 in the diamond formation back deep for the Boxers. It'll come in the direction of Mike Shaheen, the quarterback. He gives the handoff to Mike Bourne. Bourne around to the right side, brought down right at the 20-yard line by 49 Brian Garrity. And the Boxers will start right about their 19-yard line. 11-minute quarters today. We've been playing 12 with these out-of-state opponents.
12, 11, 11, 12.
Back to 11 now. And we'll see the lineups for these 2 clubs. There's your Boxer offensive line. Big Brent Warren, Plord, who took the place of Lucian Belanger when Belanger went into the backfield. Gregory, Sykos, and Reardon. And there's the rest of your backfield, the 3 running backs, Pina and Bernard, your tight ends, and Shaheen over the ball now. 1st and 10 from the 19. The give is to the fullback. That's Belanger coming across for about 5 out to the 24-yard line, stopped by Mike Kent.
You're going to hear that name an awful lot today, Mike Kent. He's got a lot of size. He plays tight end. In fact, Moses connected four times with Mike Kent last week. And we take a look at the Prep defense. A lot of size there. They match up well against Brockton. Mike Kent right there. He's a big boy. In the backfield, they have that 4 linebacker set, which causes havoc for Brockton. We'll have to see how the Boxers handle it.
The give to Bourne. He is on the way. Fournier is the one man to catch him, and Fournier brings him down at the 34-yard line. Well, it's a tough break for Bourne that the best runner on the St. John's defense is the one man back there to catch him, but Bourne, the big breakout all the way to the 34-yard line of Prep. A gain of 42 yards for Mike Bourne. So Bourne, who's broken out a couple of times since a struggling first game, gets the Boxers in good field position now. 1st and 10 from the 34 with that 42-yard carry. And showing that speed, this time it is Mosley, the fullback, and he gets into the open. Breaks a couple of tackles and picks up the 1st down, or very close to it, at the 24-yard line of Prep.
Brockton doing nothing but running off tackle and very successful so far. You see St. John's is putting their linebackers, they're blitzing them right in there. Brockton's not going outside. That's not going to help them. They need penetration in the middle, and they're not getting it right now. The Boxers are getting it.
It is a 1st down for Mosley to the 24-yard line. So 2 straight 1st downs from that Boxer backfield, and already the 3 backs have carried the ball on the first 3 plays from scrimmage. Mosley in motion, and a flag.
Maybe too much time.
Signal. It is illegal procedure.
They called it on Mosley.
So something that Mosley did while going in motion was against the rules. We don't see a lot of motion from this boxer offense.
We don't.
So new wrinkle perhaps. And
Mosley or Belanger will maybe move a little bit. No men in motion really for the boxer receivers.
When they even have receivers. They've gone to the 2 tight end set with the 3 in the backfield and only bring in the receivers, Landers, and Velios, Semper, when they get into a passing situation. Here they are now with the 1st and 15 after the penalty from the 29. No score early going here. And Mosley in motion the other way now. This time it's all right. Belanger, the first man through, but Shaheen keeps it on the option and is able to pick up only 2 yards. Stop on the play by Tim O'Connor. And he got help as well from Brian Garrity. I believe that's Brian Toner. We got 49. Toner made a couple of stops on the opening kick and now here. And we had been told that Toner's number may be changing. And, Bob Pileski across the way has been saying Toner when 49 makes the stop. So we'll assume that that's the case. Brian
it's
Toner.
Tough to hear the announcer with both ears covered with our headsets, but nice job, Timothy.
8:05 to play. The Boxers now at 2nd and 13. And keeping the ball on the ground for the big man, Mosley. Bounces off one tackler and drags a man across the 25, John Ophilos, to the 29-yard line. So they're still a good 6 yards short.
But Brockton's strength and size is really evident right here, especially from Mosley and Lucian Belanger. It's taking 2 and 3 St. John's tacklers to bring down the Brockton running backs.
The Boxers with 2 backs, Belanger and Mosley, over 200 pounds, and that can wear down the defense in no time at all. 3rd and 5, Boxers still with the 2 tight ends and the 3 men in the backfield. And a long count from Shaheen. Bourne behind the block of Mosley. He'll be just short, about a yard short of the first down as he is hit by
Tim O'Connor tripped him up right at the line. Bourne almost kept his balance. If he kept his balance, he had the first down easy because no one was a good 5 yards in front of him. Nice play by O'Connor, though.
And his tackle mate, Adam Lynch, helped out to stop Bourne just short of the 30, so it's a long 1 yard, and the Boxers will go for it. They haven't had an awful lot of work for the kicking game, and it's a windy day anyway, so in this field position, you may as well go for it. And it's as good as a touchback if you do. Almost, and Belanger will not make it. He's pushed backwards. Rob Conrad, the sophomore linebacker, was the first to put a lick on Belanger, and a rare occasion since he became a running back. Belanger unable to pick up the first down on short yardage.
Well, they gave it to the first man back there. I don't thoroughly agree with that call. Mike Bourne has been able to break the runs when he has blockers in front of him. This time, Colombo decided to give it to the up back, Lucian Belanger. Nothing giving at all. Everyone knows in a 4th down play, you're going up the middle. This time, St. John stopped it.
Well, as we said, Belanger has been very effective in 3rd and 4th down situations, short yardage, but this time it doesn't come through, and Prep has the ball for the first time. Steve Moses is your quarterback, and he'll throw over the middle. Almost picked off by Picard Jacques.
Again, last week we saw Harry Zbicki go for his tight end throughout the game. I think you're going to see that again this week. Kent caught 3 passes for 70 yards last week. Moses only threw 6 passes last week against Fairfield Prep.
The big target is the tight end, Mike Kent, who goes 6'3", 235, and they go for the quick pass over the middle, but Picard Jacques from the safety position read it very well and nearly got himself 6 points. 2nd down and 10. The ball is at the 16-yard line. And now Moses, the pitch, almost picked off by Bernard, and Velios with the tackle, a flag after the play.
How about Craig Bernard? Remember last week he was in the backfield? That was about 3 inches closer than last week's play. Great pursuit by Velios and Bernard on that right side of the line. Watch this, watch 44. I don't know if we're going to be able to see. He almost intercepts that pitch. And watch, right up there is Pat Velios. Great pursuit.
Indication that the penalty is against Prep.
I don't know if Armin Colombo is going to take this. I'd maybe just keep it 3rd down, and looks like it's going to be about 13 anyhow.
Well, it's a holding call, which would be 10 yards, but Belanger has indicated that they will refuse it to bring up a 3rd down passing situation.
Why give them an extra down when they have that offensive weapon, Andy Fournier, back there? St. John's Prep trying to run a variation of the option right now, and it hasn't worked.
A loss of 6, so it will be 3rd and 16 from the 9. Big play for the Boxer defense. They can get good field position for their offense should they stop Moses and the Eagles here. Good protection for Moses. He throws over the middle and nobody there. Intended for Fournier out of the backfield, but Bernard and Velios team up again for the coverage, and Prep will have to punt it away.
Tell you, the last picture I have of Steve Moses is when he threw the ball away on 4th down last year. Didn't impress me as a passer last year, and it looks like he has a little bit more strength in his arm, but he's looking at one receiver, his primary receiver, and did not look off at all.
So Prep having to punt from their 9-yard line.
Punting with the wind, though. We'll see
With the wind.
Let's see what kind of field position Brockton gets. Conrad to punt.
As Bourne and Velios move back on their own side of midfield, and it's a line drive kick by Conrad. Gets a good roll. Velios will watch it go as it settles in around midfield. So better field position than Prep could have hoped for when that ball went into the air. But
you gotta love those. I mean, the worst punt is one you go up 10 yards and it just falls like a duck. That, although it was hitting the side of his foot, at least he got it end over end, so at least he get another 30 yards out of it.
Got the good roll, and the Boxers will take over at the 49 of St. John's.
It's so tempting for a running back like Mike Bourne to pick that ball up in the run, but it's also very easy to fumble the ball like that.
So the Boxers proved they could run the ball their first possession, but came up short on 4th and short. Now they have 49 yards to go. And Bourne. Good fake by Shaheen, and Bourne picks up the first down to the 36-yard line, gain of 13. And they'll mark him at the 37 for a 12-yard gain, but Bourne again with the first down.
A lot of fans just look at the run itself, but look at the blocking. Look at there's no white shorts there. No white shirts there. You don't see a white shirt till he's 5 or 6 yards in the backfield. That's great offensive line play by the Boxers.
First down again from the 36. And Bourne to the right side, stumbles ahead near the 30-yard line, tripped up there.
Doesn't matter which side Brockton goes to. Warren and Plore doing a great job in the right, and Reardon and Psychos have been, man, you can drive a truck through some of the holes of that left side of the line. Reardon and Psychos are just plowing over Mike Kent, who stands 6'3", 235, and Adam Lynch.
And don't forget that with the 2 tight end formation, the Boxers have 7 men at 200 pounds or better blocking for these running backs.
Steve Pena, number 86, a tight end, 6'3", 235. A lot of bulk there.
Fake to Belanger and the give to Mosley. He will be short of first down territory, a couple of yards short. Stopped there by Brian Conley. Matt Marvin also in on the play. A lot of two-way players for this Prep team. You'll notice that as the day goes on, that the linemen go both ways for the most part, and even Moses, the quarterback, is the starting strong safety, the only safety, in fact. Fournier goes both ways, Matt Marvin, Conrad. So with the warm temperatures today, that may or may not become a factor. 3rd down and 3 at the 29-yard line of Prep. Boxers faced with another short yardage situation. The ball goes to Belanger, and he's short once again. Gets about 2. Brian Toner on the tackle.
Brian Toner leading the defensive charge.
St. John's, a great academic prep school. Out of players from last year, 2 players went on to Harvard, 2 to Fordham, and 1 to Brown. That's something to brag about right there. Kevin Dwan, of course, was one of the players to go to Harvard. I'm not sure who the other one is.
And for the second time today, the Boxers in a 4th down and go situation, 4th and 2. This time they do go with Bourne, and he picks up the first down. Moses with the tackle, but after going with the fullback up the middle on the first 4th down situation, it is Bourne this time. The speedy back picks up the necessary yardage for the first down.
Mike Bourne, Tim, we still have 3 minutes left in the first quarter. He already has 72 yards in the ground. You knew it wasn't going to happen twice in a row. He gave it to the up back last time. Again, look at the hole for Mike Bourne. Nobody touches him till he's 5 yards deep.
Inside of 3 minutes to play, no score, but the Boxers have moved the ball very well on the ground. Bourne to the left side, wrapped up after a short gain. Brian Toner, once again, a busy man at the linebacker position.
Mike Kent, number 84, 3.96 grade point average. I guess Stanford and Duke's looking at him, so he's got a bright future wherever he goes, even if he doesn't decide to play football.
Absolutely.
It's nice to see.
Gain of 4 on the play for Bourne, and the Boxers get inside the 20 for the second time at the 19-yard line. Bourne stays busy. No, the fake. It's Shaheen, an excellent fake. He is ridden out of bounds by Ophilos, or just near the sidelines after a very short gain. So Prep was not fooled, though I was, as Shaheen picks up about a yard.
One of those third down situations, 3rd and long. One of these downs, Armin Colombo is going to pass, and it's going to surprise everyone here because it's all been on the ground so far.
We've also seen that reverse from this
yes,
situation.
Well, we'll see if Troy Semper's in.
They've
I don't think
stayed
he's
with
in.
the same formation. No wideouts.
Double tight end set.
And a 3rd and 5 from just outside the 17. Mosley goes in motion again. It is Belanger. Good hole behind Warren, and Belanger stays on his feet towards the 10-yard line and pushed down at the 11. That's enough for the first down for Lucian Belanger.
Nice second effort by Lucian. Again, the Brockton offensive line is blowing huge holes on St. John's. You watch Belanger, I don't know if it's the fake or whatever, he hasn't been touched yet. And watch the second effort here. He picked up another 4 yards on second effort. Nice job.
So what we've come to expect from the Boxer captain,
Nothing
first down
short of
on short
superb.
yardage situations. Inside of a minute to play, Boxers now with their deepest penetration to the 12-yard line. And it is Bourne right behind Mosley, and Bourne gets about a yard.
I think Mike Bourne was a little bit too quick on that one. He almost put footprints on Jason Mosley's back. Ran right into the back of him.
Bourne able to pick up 4 yards. He lunged ahead across the 10 to the 8-yard line, so pretty good pickup by Mike.
Bourne, 7 rushes, 80 yards now, Tim. That's a banner day right there.
Including the 42-yarder on the first series. Boxers can get a first down inside the 2-yard line. This is Bourne, spun around inside the 5 by Marvin. And that should do it in the first quarter.
Mike Bourne is doing a great job handling that ball now.
His confidence continues to grow as the Boxers push down inside the 5-yard line. That's where they'll pick it up on 3rd down when the second quarter begins. Don't go away.
Too big.
Too old. Over 14 million dogs and cats are killed each year just for being born into a world that doesn't want
There are
them.
more kittens in the car.
Friends of Animals Spay and Neuter program makes you a big part of the solution for a fraction of the usual cost. All it takes is a phone call. Poor thing. Probably thinks he's going home. Spaying and neutering is more than just a good idea. It's a matter of life and death.
Welcome back to Marciano Stadium. Stats for the first quarter, really unbelievable. Time of possession, Brockton 10:29, St. John's 31 seconds. Total yards, 115 for the Boxers, -5 for the Eagles. 5 first downs for Brockton, none for the Eagles. 17 offensive plays for Brockton, 4 for St. John's. The only thing that's not in Brockton's favor right now, the scoreboard.
Boxers take the timeout on the 3rd down and 4 situation to talk this one over. And the most remarkable stat in my book is that with this 11-minute quarter that was played, actual time was just about 17 minutes. So
I didn't even get a chance to settle down. I mean, usually you're talking half-hour quarters, you know.
At this pace,
I'm still
including
taking out my
halftime.
notes from my bag that I brought, you know. Maybe by halftime we can relax for a couple minutes and
take a deep breath. That's what the running game will do, as the Boxers, Steve mentioning 115 yards total offense. Well, that's 115 yards rushing offense, since they have done nothing but rotate among Belanger, Mosley, and Bourne on the ground.
And that's what makes it so tough, because you never know who's going to get it. You say 3rd and short, Belanger. What about 4th and short? You got Mike Bourne. Mosley's been very impressive. And Shaheen, if need be, he could take off too.
He's carried the ball once as well. So 3rd and 4 from the 5. The Boxers obviously can pick up the 1st down should they get to the 1, but I think they just as soon cash in on their first opportunity.
Tim, we'll call it the triple threat offense right now.
And this time Mosley is split in the slot with just Belanger and Bourne behind Shaheen. It is Bourne tripped up in the backfield by Moses. It appeared Bourne was going to turn the corner, but Steve Moses, the senior safety, came up and tripped him up.
Heads up play by the Eagles right there. Moses tried to stay away from Lucian Belanger, because Belanger was over there too. Or was it Mosley, the block? Watch this. Looks like Bourne's going to have that room.
There's the block from Belanger on Fournier, but it was Moses slipping in.
Really didn't get it all, but he just messed up his legs a little bit. Brockton having some trouble relaying the plays.
Well, the Boxers resembling many of their opponents over the last couple of seasons, able to move the ball extremely well down to the 20-yard line or so, and then in that red zone, an awful lot of difficulty moving ahead. So they've had the ball 3 times now, and this will be the 3rd time that they're faced with a 4th down and short deep in prep territory. This time it's 4th and 4 from just outside the 5-yard line.
You know, I'm wondering, is Armin Colombo, maybe, will he kick a field goal here? Alan Bursey hasn't been doing that well, but he's got enough leg to kick it from where it is right now. With the wind, it should be a fairly easy kick.
My guess, and this is just a hunch, is that the way the Boxers have moved the ball, if you don't get the 1st down, you've got Prep pinned back at their own 5, and they were unable to move the ball in their first possession.
Either way, it's not too risky of a position, especially with Brockton's defense the way they're playing.
Absolutely true, but I see no sign of Bursey out there. The Boxers apparently will just go for it.
Watch for the quick kick here. Maybe a 2-point kick, Tim? No, I don't think so.
And also no sign of any receivers. Prep coming in at 2-0 with wins over Greenwich and Fairfield Prep in Connecticut.
They've only had 6 points scored against them so far.
So here we go.
Last week.
4th down and 4 from the 5-yard line. The give is to Bourne. Mike Bourne, touchdown!
Michael Bourne, touchdown, Boxers!
I don't know if any player in Eastern Mass can generate any more speed than Mike Bourne does coming out of that backfield. He's like a rocket, and the countdown is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. By the time that color's called on the snap, he's just raring to go, untouched into the end zone.
Outstanding acceleration, and Bourne again continues to see his confidence grow with every week. The Boxers, I can give you this stat, they're 2 for 3 on 4th down conversions, and this one's good for 6 points.
That's a pretty good percentage right there.
Shaheen to hold for Bursey. And Alan Bursey's kick is up, and it is good.
Tipped.
No, it is tipped wide. It appeared to be through, but someone got a piece of it, and the Boxer lead will remain at 6 as we take another look at the Bourne touchdown.
Nothing fancy here. They're just going to go with their strength. You got 2 big backs, and Belanger and Mosley to block, and watch this hole by Mike Bourne. Untouched into the end zone. Steve Pino over there to help out. They didn't need him this time. Nice play.
And once again, the Cape Cod Cafe will contribute to the Brockton High School Athletic Fund. Remember, $4 for every point scored by the Boxers on our telecast. We had $240 in the till coming into this week, and with the 6 points here, the Boxers can throw 24 more bucks in for a season total of 264, all courtesy of the Cape Cod Cafe. 10:21 to play, second quarter. The Boxers have thoroughly dominated. As Steve pointed out, in the first quarter, Prep had the ball for all of 31 seconds, went -5 yards, and they'll get the ball for just the second time now, trailing by 6.
Brockton scoring drive, 10 play, 51 yards. Tim, don't forget, we're going to be picking our Cape Cod Cafe Player of the Game after today's contest, and the way Mike Bourne is going, I don't know.
He's
This
making
could be
an early
a
bid.
hands-down choice.
Well, we couldn't very well give it to anybody on the defense. They haven't played
They
much.
haven't been out there.
A flag on the kickoff by Bursey. Fournier takes it at the 15-yard line, and Mike Landers wrapping up Fournier, but I believe this one will come back.
Maybe offsides on the kick. Mike Landers, just a little guy, not playing like a little guy there.
We await the signal. It was thrown at the Brockton line, so it clearly was a penalty against Brockton.
I don't know if St. John's will want to take this over because this is in bad field position. If they
No,
do kick
Belanger.
it over, you have the, well, they are going to kick it over. I'm surprised.
And it was an offside call.
I mean, if Alan Bursey gets a better kick, and the way Brockton's defense has been covering, they could end up with a lot worse yardage.
Well, here's the twist. I believe the penalty was against St. John's.
Was it? Yes, they're lining up at the 45. Maybe they're in the neutral zone there.
I began to wonder when I saw Belanger was conferring with the officials.
Yeah, he's kicking off from the 45.
Yeah, 51. The word we got is that 51 for Prep. That's Sal DeMartinez lined up in the neutral zone, and that is the 5-yard penalty. So that explains the re-kick. The Boxers kicking from their 45 now instead of the 40. And the good upfield tackle by Mike Landers will go for naught. Three men deep for Prep. And Bursey gets a better kick, much better kick. Touched in the field of play, and that means he has to carry it out. Quickly hit inside the 10, a flag, 2 flags down. We may have a face mask. As John Barsamian. Barsamian comes up clapping. It was an adventurous kick for him, but Prep will benefit from the penalty.
Well, was it intentional or unintentional?
It's a personal foul, face mask indeed. And a tough break for the Boxers. Barsamian touched it at the 3-yard line, had to chase it into the end zone, and then of course had to come out and play it.
That's a big penalty right there.
That's a 15-yard penalty all the way out to the 24-yard line.
Barsamian knows he touched it in play. He's got to take it out now.
Has to run it down. Remember a week ago there was a questionable call where a Boxer touched it at around the 1 and then was still allowed to down it in the end zone. First down and 10 from the 24. And over the left side, Fournier gets very little, about a yard before Belanger and Bernard wrap him up. Lucian Belanger coming off an outstanding performance. A flag after the play, and this will be against Fournier.
This is going to be on St. John's, mouthing off to Lucian Belanger. Lucian Belanger, very mature, will not retaliate. He's the captain. It's not a captain's job to retaliate.
Fournier will come out of the lineup to have a chat with Coach Jim O'Leary, I'm sure. He reacted strongly after the official threw the flag and pointed directly at him. So
now that is not a bright play, especially by Fournier, who's a senior. So that's going to go back 10.
That's a 15-yard penalty, is it not? 15 yards from the point of the infraction at the end of the play. So all the way back to the 13-yard line. actually inside the 13 for second down 22. And in Fournier's place,
Rob Conrad, I believe.
it is Conrad.
Another good sized kid, 6'2", 205.
I was about to say how Belanger, in his performance last week, 24 tackles as the Globe Defensive Player of the Week in Division I.
Conrad just a sophomore, so Jim O'Leary can expect big things from him in the upcoming years. 24 tackles, 9 unassisted.
And a big play breaking up a pass late in the game, as well as the performance he had from the backfield. Moses looking downfield, nobody there, and intercepted by Landers.
Horrible pass by Moses, horrible.
Intended for Matt Marvin, and Marvin had not turned around. And
we saw this for Brockton 3 weeks ago with the Brockton receivers running really bad patterns. This was nowhere near the receiver. This looked like Mike Landers was the receiver. Watch this.
It's a wobbly pass in the wind.
Well, that's either a real bad pass or a real bad pattern. You don't see a white shirt near there.
But an outstanding catch by Mike Landers, who of course doubles as a wide receiver. And Landers, with the first turnover of this game, gets the ball back for the Boxers at the 37. So Prep still unable to generate any offense against the big black defense. Bourne just caught from behind by O'Connor.
Nice play again. That's the second time he's done that to a Brockton runner. They're not getting the big hits, but they're getting the hits to get an arm in the legs. And that's just going to mess up the Brockton running back's balance just enough. So if he doesn't fall, he's going to get hit by somebody else.
Well, we've said it before, a defensive coach can't be happy when the best tackles his team makes are from behind.
Yeah.
That means that someone is opening up a hole and getting through.
And that's an understatement right there, because Brockton's doing a great job thus far.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the 35. And Shaheen to throw for the first time. Velios downfield, has 2 steps on Fournier. Caught by Velios at the 1-yard line.
Pat Velios ran a perfect pattern. Everyone in the stadium knew he was going to pass it, except for the St. John's defense because of the great fake by Shaheen. And Velios was wide open the whole time. Fournier just didn't have, watch this throw by Shaheen. Great throw, right in the money, caught him in stride. It's just too bad Pat couldn't keep his steps for a couple more yards, because he deserves a touchdown on that play.
Just came down at the 1-yard line. 34 yards on Shaheen's first throw, and they cash in immediately. Shaheen will take it in himself.
I'll tell you what,
I'd say he deserved that carry.
If I was a St. John's fan right now, I'd be wondering to myself, this is not the way you want to start out against Brockton. We say it every year, but it's been true for the past 2 weeks. If you're going to gain yardage against Brockton, you better do it early on, because once the defense knows that they're not going to allow anything, they don't allow anything. It just gets tougher and tougher as Brockton gets more confidence.
The Boxers will take a timeout as they get set for the point after.
Nothing fancy here. Well-deserved touchdown for Mike Shaheen.
You like to give it to the guy on short yardage who got you there, and this time it was Shaheen through the air to Velios. The first pass completion, the first pass attempt of the day for the Boxers, and they come up big.
I said you won't see more than 5 passes aside. We didn't see it last week for Brockton, but go back to last week. Mike Shaheen to Troy Semper setting up their first score. When Armand Colombo needs it, he knows Shaheen can do it now, obviously. That's a big call right there. Completely faked the St. John's defense. And Velios, as soon as he was in the backfield, he was wide open. Wide open. We'll see if we can watch Pat Velios take off from, nope.
There's the touchdown.
That's the touchdown. I thought we were going to see the pass.
Well, I believe you don't have to throw the ball 25 times a day to establish that you have a passing game. A couple of timely throws like this one, and you've got the defense thinking about what you might do, particularly when they did not use a real passing formation.
And the same isn't true for St. John's. Their first 2 plays, they came out passing.
The Boxers to go for 2. Their first point after attempt, you remember, was tipped wide. So now they'll try to get the point back, and then another one. Bourne fumbles, juggles, scores.
What a play. What a play by number 28.
I wonder if Victor Ortiz is watching today. He's seen a pretty good dribbler in Mike Bourne.
It's a nice bounce pass. From the chest. Watch Mike Bourne. Is this concentration?
Sometimes the ball goes your way.
That time it definitely did. And again, where are the white shirts? Nowhere to be found. Total domination by Brockton. Here we're going to see the catch.
Here's the play that set up the score.
Our regular view at it. Watch this. Watch Velios. Nope. He was wide open the entire play.
And with the 8 points the Boxers score, they've pushed close to the 300 mark. $32 more from the Cape Cod Cafe into the Brockton High School Athletic Fund, and we are up to $296 on the season, courtesy of Cape Cod Cafe into the BHS Athletic Department Fund. The Boxers looking to make this a big day for that fund, already up to 14 points after a quiet first quarter.
Jim Jamoulis, I can hear him opening up that vault right now.
A line drive kick from Bursey. Barsamian, he gets it at the 6 this time, has a little room to get started. Jacques gets a piece of him and hangs on. Picard Jacques to the 15-yard line would not let go of John Barsamian.
It's like St. John's has a big plastic bag around them, and Brockton is tying it shut tighter and tighter and tighter every time the white team has the ball.
Well, there's certainly a big plexiglass wall at the 20-yard line.
It's like a bulletproof vest, although it's like Swiss cheese right now for St. John's.
Prep looking a lot like the Patriots in their inability to get good field position.
They're not that bad yet, Tim.
It's early yet. 7:19 to play, second quarter. And a 1st and 10 from the 15, Prep trailing 14-0. Fournier in motion. Right away, Conrad is hit by Persampieri.
And he's hurt.
Persampieri is hurt.
Remember, he had the neck burner a couple weeks ago. This looks like his hand, maybe.
A terrific stop by Persampieri, and he immediately went down in pain.
It might be the same injury. Looks like it's his hand.
I think you're right, Steve.
I think he might have caught it in the helmet.
Let's take a look. Persampieri is 70, right in the center of your screen. He gets a hold of Conrad and then goes down, but
looks like he might have got the wind knocked out of him. That could be it too. If that's happened, I don't know if it's happened to you, Tim. But
oh yes.
It's like death for the first 20 seconds.
And he is helped off the field.
He'll be back
under his own power. Gain of 1 for Conrad. Fournier again in motion, and Moses pitches to Fournier. He's got some room. Andy Fournier dragged down by the jersey at the 30-yard line.
Gain of 14. That's what we expect from St. John's. Nice option.
Coming back to make the stop.
Nice option. The first substantial gain for St. John's, and it comes with 6.5 minutes left in the first half.
They ought to be into plus yardage with that.
Maybe. We're not sure on that. We'll have to check the stats.
First down, St. John's from their own 30-yard line.
So the first down from just inside the 30-yard line. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the second quarter. Fournier again in this same formation, but Conrad gets the call, picks up about a yard. Reardon and Psychos on the tackle.
They're getting nothing up the middle. Expect to see a lot more pitches to the outside with Fournier.
You know, we were given John Ophilos as the fullback. Now, he's a senior, 5'9", 178. That's not exactly fullback size, but Conrad is the man we've seen.
I might be able to hit him. I don't know. Probably not.
Now, Coach Jim O'Leary, for one reason or another, has gone with Conrad in the backfield.
For size.
A much more prototypical fullback.
Big word there, Tim. Watch out.
have been practicing. Moses pitches behind Fournier, and Fournier holds. The boxer attempting to go for the ball. It's still loose, and the Boxers have it.
I don't see a yellow flag,
I
though.
do not
Fournier,
either.
if St. John's recovered that fumble, it should have been a 10-yard penalty. Who comes up with it, Tim? Look at that.
I wonder who that might be.
Belanger. Remember, you're still offense. You can't hold. You can't use your hands. And Fournier literally, it might have been Mike Landers he had a hold on, but he grabbed him by the back of the shirt and went for a piggyback ride.
Moses gets hit, elects to pitch, but Fournier is well past. And then here you see, just on the left of your screen, as he goes for, I think it was Belanger that he grabbed.
No, it was Kenny Legault.
Kenny Legault.
43 was in there. 1st and 10.
All right, so the second turnover for the Boxers. They cash in here on the missed option play. Belanger coming up with it. Now he gets the ball on the other side, picking up a yard on first down.
We talk about halftime adjustments. I don't know if you can adjust such a poor showing in one half. Brockton never adjusted the first week. I mean, St. John's has done everything wrong. Or is Brockton doing everything right on defense?
Well, I think the two contribute to the other.
Turnovers.
Unprepared offense makes the defense play better, and the tough defense will get you out of your offense. So 2nd and 9 from the 16-yard line. Bourne spins ahead near the 10 before being pushed backwards.
The old Tony Dorsett spin didn't work that time for Michael, though.
Mike Kent, Steve Moses on the tackle.
Again, I can't say enough about the way Mike Shaheen is working the handoffs. The fakes he is able to do, he's showing the signs of a seasoned veteran right now, I'm telling you. What a difference. Got all the confidence in the world, and the way he's playing, he should have it.
Gain of 4, 3rd down and 5 at the 11-yard line. Mosley pushing and close to first down yardage.
Mosley, the ball carrier for the Boxers.
Triple threat offense. Talk about the Olympic triple cast, Brockton's triple threat.
Ophilos on the stop from the linebacker spot. So there's Ophilos. We talked about him not having fullback size, but he also plays linebacker at 5'9", 178.
Must
And
be a
they'll bring out the
scrappy
chains.
kid. Even if they don't make it here, you know they're going to go for it.
Well, with a
You've got nothing to lose.
67% effectiveness rate, why not? They come up just short.
That should go. Well, if Brockton, well, that's a tough ball to stop. I mean, all the quarterback has to do is just lean over. That should go up to 750 after this play. 2 for 3 thus far, right, Tim?
That's right, on 4th down conversions.
Gee, that's some quick math work.
So again, the Boxers able to penetrate deeply, but then slowing up a bit as they get inside the 20.
Amazing how fast you can type it into a calculator, huh?
Just have to know where the numbers are. So 4th down and short, 3 minutes, 42 seconds to play in the half. The Boxers looking for their 3rd score. It is Bourne, first down. And down to the 1-yard line.
Carries for the Boxers.
He's stopped there
Tackle made
by 34 John Pascucci, but
First down, Boxers.
again, the Boxers coming through on 4th down and short. They failed to make it their first time around, but their 3 possessions since then have gone for the 4th down play and come up with the first down.
I can't believe how dominating Brockton is today.
Remarkable.
2nd week in a row.
First down and goal from the 2. And movement on the left side of the line could be a motion penalty on Brockton. Shaheen very upset, as this will push them back 5 yards. I saw Kent move on the far side, so he was apparently drawn off by Bernard or perhaps Reardon on the left side of the Brockton line. At any rate, it's a 5-yard penalty, so they pick up the first down and then promptly get sent back to the 7.
Timothy, a little bit of trivia here from our statistician, Leo Genetasio. When was the last time a Massachusetts high school football team won here at Marciano Stadium?
Ooh.
And what was the team to do it?
Give me a minute on that. Or 2 or 3. As Belanger carries for about 2 yards. The last Massachusetts
I have the
team
answer.
to win here.
Leominster High School, 1984, Richie Reagan senior year. Teams coming in here, they're working against the odds, to say the least.
Well, the year
That's an
before
impressive
I
stat.
began covering Brockton football.
You talk about Miami of Florida's home streak. How about this one? 8 years.
Second down and goal from the 5. Bourne, very close. Fournier and Toner and Moses. Moses coming up a little slowly. Remember, he's the quarterback.
Mike Bourne with that run over the century mark in the first half. 14 rushes, 102 yards.
So back inside the original line of scrimmage go the Boxers on the carry by Bourne. Brings up a 3rd down and 1. And I'm certain Armin Colombo would like to avoid another 4th down situation.
Timeout. That's their last one. That's their 4th timeout.
Boxers take the timeout with 1:10 on the clock, faced with 3rd and goal just outside the 1-yard line. Leading here 14-0. I'm Tim Cox with Steve Valley. Boxers looking for number 3 in a row here. St. John's also looking for the 3rd win, but up against it here. The final minute plus of the first half, unable to generate anything.
Tim, I still go back to that Fairfield Prep. If they were nationally ranked, that must have been in junior high. I mean, if they were nationally ranked, St. John's must be having a real bad day then. Because I just can't believe that Fairfield Prep was in the top 25 of the country. Don Hasselbeck in front of us, former New England Patriot. Son plays for, well, he's the quarterback for Xaverian High School.
Xaverian, the Boxer opponent a couple of weeks down the road, coming in to today's action. Xaverian number 1 ranked in Eastern Mass, but you have to remember those ratings are done by the Boston Globe sports staff with some input from coaches. And Xaverian coming off 2 straight weeks of Division III opponents, while the Boxers have played Cathedral Prep and 2 weeks prior against Wagner of Staten Island, New York, and now Xaverian played Whitman Hanson and Duxbury, 2 good programs, but 2 Division III programs.
Not in this caliber.
And we'll see Xaverian a couple of weeks down the road. Next week, of course, we'll be here as the Boxers play their 3rd straight home game against Fitchburg. Zach McCall, a talented running back, will bring his crew to town. 3rd and goal from the 1. Belanger, no Bourne. Touchdown! Another excellent fake by Shaheen, and Bourne cashes in his 2nd score of the day.
Number 28, Michael Bourne.
St. John's just does not know who has the ball. Combine that with fantastic blocking up front and untouchable running by the Brockton running backs, and you have a big lead, and that's what Brockton has right now.
Mike Bourne has scored 14 points. 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. And he goes in from 1 yard out here. This time Bursey on to attempt the kick again. His first one was tipped wide. This one is up, and it is wide right. No, it's good. I've had terrible success calling points after from up here.
Nothing fancy here, just who has the ball. I'll tell you who has it, Mike Bourne, number 28, and he's in the end zone for another Brockton score.
The 3rd touchdown of the 2nd quarter, and this is the St. John side of the field. This is an enthusiastic crowd, but they've had absolutely nothing to cheer about today. So with that score, 7 more points from the Boxers means $28 more from the Cape Cod Cafe to the Brockton High School Athletic Fund, putting us over the $300 mark here in week number 4, $324.
And how many cents? Oh, no change. All right,
no change.
No
Just
change.
the bills, please. Boxers started the day at 240 and have pushed it up well over the 300 mark, and we're still in the first half.
Utter domination. There's
Never expected this kind of
no
first
other
half.
word for it. You go back to last year's 2 games, and they were probably the best games of the year besides Weymouth. And for this to happen, especially with St. John's ranked so high.
So Bursey to kick. Still with the wind at his back. And he gets off a low, screaming kick. Again, Barsamian receives it at the 10-yard line. Looking for a hole. He's hit and pushes across the 30-yard line. Peter DeUlius was there.
Jamal Mosley was also there, 46.
So this is about the best field position that Prep has had. Fournier got them out to the 30-yard line on a 14-yard carry on their previous possession.
But they only have 58 seconds left to play with it.
And the wind against them. And no completions in their passing game. The only ball that's been caught was the interception by Mike Landers. Marvin is there as a wide receiver. And so is Barsamian. And they go up the middle with it. Conrad pushing ahead for 5 yards. Persampieri back in the lineup, makes the stop. Glad to see Jason back in there after shaking off that injury. Prep takes a timeout with 52 seconds on the clock.
They need more than a timeout right now. They need a halftime break to talk things over.
Really
but again,
shocking.
I don't foresee a big change. I mean, either they go through the air every time they get the ball next half, and I just can't see Brockton giving up tons of yardage through the air. And on the ground, they have to start running the option more. They can't run these dives right behind the center because Brockton is just too big and powerful in tight. Their only chance to put points on the board and to gain yardage is to start running outside with these options.
Their only effective play to date has been the 14-yard carry on the option by Andy Fournier.
And that was one play out of the whole first half.
Timeout on the field. Boxers leading 21-0 in the final minute of the first half. 3 touchdowns here in the second quarter after a speedy first quarter that was dominated by the Boxers. Bourne brought it in on the Boxers' first possession. Shaheen from 1 yard out, set up by his own pass to Velios of 34 yards. And Mike Bourne again from 1 yard out. A couple of key turnovers there as well. The interception by Lander set up a score, and the fumble recovery by Belanger set up the third one. So Boxers have taken advantage of every mistake and made very few themselves. Second down at 5. Loose ball. Persampieri has the ball.
Oh, pitiful.
Now there's something. Fournier, the speedy tailback, was right above the ball, and Persampieri scooted underneath and came up with it.
Pitiful.
So Brockton continuing to do everything right, as Moses unable to connect with his center, Feltovic. And Moses had the ball and just lost it.
Oh, he went to pitch it
there
to
you go.
Conrad for the draw. Obviously a mix-up in the huddle because Conrad didn't know he was supposed to have the ball.
Conrad was not aware of the play. The shovel pass forward to him ends up in the hands of big Jason Persampieri. There he is.
What?
Oh.
Oh my, they're calling it an incomplete forward pass. Wow.
So a big break for Prep.
That is a horrible call, even though we're up 21-0. That was a handoff if I ever saw one. We
The
saw it
shovel
clearly
pass
on the
attempted
replay.
by Moses never got to Conrad. Persampieri smothered it, but
Maybe
it's
that's the
called.
help that St. John's needs here. I don't know.
Brings up a 3rd down and 6 situation. Moses straight drop over the middle. Picked off by Landers.
Well, if you can't get it one way, you might as well get it the other way. No flags on the field. We're just going to make sure here.
So the fumble is nullified, but the interception is not. Landers, his 2nd pick of the day.
Why is the clock still running here?
Finally stops at 35
That
seconds.
was 10 seconds. They should add 10 seconds. Beautiful catch by Landers. And
I'm
you
telling
wonder
you.
why Armin Colombo has him for wide receiver?
I was just about to say, if they need the passing offense today, they know a guy they can go to, because Landers' hands have been excellent today.
No, they didn't add any time to the clock. It ran about 10 extra seconds. At this point, it doesn't. It's all a matter of the fact.
Landers is in there at wide receiver, along with Semper and Velio. So the Boxers would like to get something here. They're 59 yards away. The draw play to Mosley doesn't fool anybody, but Mosley nearly makes something of it anyway. He's finally dragged down by Brian Connolly after being hit 2 yards deep.
That's a neck tackle. He could just grab him by the shirt and hang on for dear life.
And the clock stops at 27 seconds.
What a strong young man he is right there.
So the Boxers do take their last timeout now, apparently.
Now, I thought they already took their timeouts.
Well, the clock is stopped, and Shaheen already in the huddle.
Well, everything else has gone wrong in this last minute. Maybe they gave him an extra timeout.
Now Shaheen goes to the sidelines.
Run it out. If it was Mark Hartzell back there, I'd say, yeah, they got a very good chance of scoring.
Well, the way things have gone for Brockton today, I would give anything a shot.
Yeah. Not putting down Mike Shaheen at all, because he's very capable of it.
He's got the wind at his back. He's already connected to Velios for 34 yards from this end of the field.
Second and 11, 27 seconds left.
And again, the 3 wide receivers in. Big rush. And the screen pass to Bourne is incomplete.
4 seconds off the clock. Nice play, though. Jim O'Leary, the St. John's coach coming in, said he had a very good pass rush and was very evident there. They were right in Shaheen's
Well, that was the blitz
face.
Toner coming in from the outside linebacker position. However, had the pass been complete, Bourne had some room to run over there, and they've used that screen pass on blitz situations very effectively earlier in the season. So 3rd down and 11 from the 40, 23 seconds on the clock. Shaheen straight ahead, gets about 5 yards, and the clock will continue to run, so that just may do it for the first half.
No, somebody called a timeout. You know, right about now.
It's a St. John's timeout.
Yeah, if I was St. John's, I just want to get into the locker room.
Get this nightmare over with.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to do anything in 10 seconds that you haven't been able to do in 21 and a half minutes.
Well, all I can figure is on 4th down, they're expecting the punt and are thinking of perhaps blocking it. "15 seconds on the clock. Brockton's at their own 40, leading by 21. Not a huge crowd on hand today, and that perhaps, in spite of the great weather, it could be that the enticing college football games on tap this afternoon have kept a few people at home. Boston College, of course, going for their 5th win against West Virginia today, and the big one, Florida State and Miami, the 2nd and 3rd ranked teams in the country, also on tap. So that may have kept some folks away, but it's unfortunate. They're missing an outstanding Brockton performance today. As the Boxers get set for the 4th down play, Shaheen gives it to Bourne. Mike Bourne gets the 1st down and more, down inside the 40-yard line.
Clock will stop to move the chains, but Brockton's got no more offense.
They've used their timeouts.
Screaming, see if they can down the ball. What they have to do, get a quick snap, down it.
There goes the clock. Shaheen throws it down, and with 5, now down to 4 seconds.
Oh, he's calling intentional grounding. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He's calling intentional grounding.
No, it's a motion call.
Motion, all right.
Well, there you go. So the Boxers hurry up and get in too much of a hurry. Clock runs down to 4 seconds. They should have 1 play here. Clock started again. Now they get the snap away, but the game clock will run down to 0 and the half will come to an end. So an ugly finish to a pretty first half for Brockton.
Very effective first half for Brockton.
Just want to make sure that that is it before we wrap up for the half. There they go to the locker room. The Boxers all over St. John's, 21-0 with 3 second quarter touchdowns. The halftime show with the Brockton Band and our halftime stats coming up in just a minute. Stay with us.
Actually, you wrote the book on growing up. What they're going through only looks different from what you went through, and there's a lot you can share with them. So before your kids make important decisions, like smoking, talk to them. Help them decide not to smoke.
Everybody needs help talking to their kids sometimes. Call for your free booklet on how parents can talk to their teenagers about smoking and other tough issues. The Family Course Consortium believes smoking shouldn't be a part of growing up.
There's the Boxer Band getting set for the halftime performance, and if it's anything like the football team's performance through the part of this afternoon, it should be a great show. Usually is, with Vincent McCrenna, the halftime dancers, the color guard, the majorettes, and the Brockton Boxer High School Marching Band. Don't forget, halftime stats coming up. We'll be selecting our Cape Cod Cafe player of the game at the end of this one. We've got a 21-0 Brockton halftime score. Enjoy the show.
Nothing's changed.
The interception by Landers, fumble.
2 interceptions
Recovered by Belanger,
Landers.
and then the second Landers interception. That's how Prep ended their drives in the first half. Now here we are on the first possession of the second. And Rob Conrad on to punt. Actually, that's a mistake. Conrad did punt once in the first half, that big roller, and he gets another line drive, but this one not likely to go far. It's out of bounds in Prep territory at the 46.
47, 46 yard line. When it's bad, it's bad.
Boy.
My, oh my.
So if Prep wanted to make a statement coming out for the second half, they didn't have much to say.
Well, if that's a statement, Brockton should be looking forward.
The Boxers get the ball back at the 46-yard line of St. John's with 8:51 to play here in the third quarter. And quick movement. I don't know whether the Boxer line jumped.
I believe it's offsides.
Gregory was nailed by Austin Hover, the left defensive tackle.
Let's see, now they're going to call it on St. John's, offsides.
Well, first down and 5 at the 41-yard line of St. John's after the penalty. The Boxers quickly pick up an easy 5 yards. Shaheen and Mosley lunging ahead. Toner on the tackle. Mosley will be about a yard short of the first down. Second down and 1 at the 37-yard line. Brockton leading 21-0. And have completely outplayed Prep throughout. Belanger, first down. Gets 5 to the 32, and the Boxers continue to march. Conrad on the tackle, but Belanger again picking up the first down. Bourne, his first carry of the second half. And he spins out near the 30-yard line.
Brockton taking up where they left off the first half. And so isn't St. John's thus far, 3 and out.
There's your situation at the 29-yard line. Just about 7 minutes to play. And Mosley gets the call this time. The Boxers just mixing it up. One per ball carrier.
Content to just run it and take time off the clock. That's all they're doing right now.
Well, you go back to that first quarter when the Boxers had it for all but 30 seconds and the whole quarter was over in about 17 minutes. This one may go at the same pace. As the Boxers forced Prep to kick it away after just 3 plays. And now continue to run the ball themselves. 3rd down and 3 here, though. Belanger, the first down specialist, is there again. Toner and Moses are dragged along for the ride down to the 16-yard line.
Again, it's a bad sign when your free safety and one of your linebackers are making the tackles 12 yards into your backfield. Brockton doing everything right now. Anything they want to do. Brian Connolly, big number 75, coming in for 86. Ken Blaska.
So another first down carry for Belanger to the 16. Bourne, nobody there. He's got a good block in front of him from Mosley, and Bourne coughs it up into the end zone. And Prep has the ball.
Recovery by St. John's in the end zone, automatic.
So the first real mistake of the day for the Boxers, just as Bourne picked up another first down. Ball rolled into the end zone, and Prep will take it out at the 20. Fortunate to come out of this drive without any more points on the board. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line for St. John's. Bourne, as you may recall, did have some trouble hanging onto the ball in his appearances last year and struggled with that problem in the first game against Wagner this year, but has been very effective since. Velios on the coverage, going for the ball, and the flag thrown from behind him. The one official on the side.
You know, for an official to make a call like that, he's got to be wearing iron shorts, I'm telling you. Horrible call, another one.
Well, the official on the side thought it was a clean play.
Well, they're not going to make the call now. Okay. They did give it to him. Just another horrendous call.
Velios going for the ball in front of Fournier, got a piece of it, but is called for going over the back.
But the referee who made it was out of the play. That's what I'm saying right there. It's not his call.
1st and 10 from the 27. Fournier hit by Presampieri in the backfield.
Moses got a little bit mixed up there. He did a complete 360 before he handed off. There was a mix-up on the snap, and Moses luckily was able to hand it off to Fournier, but that wasn't the planned play.
A loss of 2 on the play brings up 2nd down and 12. Kenny Legault seeing lots of action in the defensive secondary, number 43. He's made a couple of big plays today. Passing situation for the Eagles. Short drop over the middle. Fournier couldn't reach back for it. Thrown behind him.
Well, there's no flags on that play.
Many, many times we've seen
quick drop
opponents use that quick drop against Brockton. Virtually assured of an open receiver.
Sure.
And it's a high percentage pass, but this time the pass was not on the money. You see Fournier reaching back with the one hand.
Really no chance.
Really would have been popped had he caught it anyway. So 3rd and 12 from the 25. The only yardage picked up on this drive for St. John's came on the defensive pass interference call. Fournier goes in motion. Exactly 5 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Moses rolling right, throwing right. Intercepted. Velios on the pass intended for Mike Kent, the tight end.
And
Velios
I'll tell you
comes
what,
underneath and takes it away.
Steve Moses took the hit of the game by Jason Mosley on that, and he's walking very gingerly. He might be done for the day because he's a two-way player. He's
Moses
definitely
looking like Hartzell against
Yeah.
St. John's Prep a year ago. Just got his bell rung. Watch him roll right here.
Watch Jason Mosley. I'm not sure. You see just in the right-hand corner of the screen. What a catch by Velios.
Actually,
Pass thrown about 5 yards too short.
yeah, Fournier was the intended receiver. I thought Kent was the closest man, but on replay we see that it was Fournier.
Moses being
Moses
helped
never
off
came
the
close.
field right now. That might be all for Steve. He's taking a licking out there. Remember, they have Matt Marvin, who was quarterback in their season opening victory over the Boxers last year.
Moses had been hurt at that point, and Marvin took over. He's been the receiver and defensive back ever since. But with 4:54 to go in the third quarter, on the third interception, fourth turnover of the day, the Boxers get the ball back. Bourne hanging onto the ball and dragged down by Kent, but Bourne lunging ahead.
They're
for an
trying
extra 5 yards.
They're going for the ball against Michael Bourne. Kent actually came up with that ball, but the play was dead.
Gain of 6 just outside the 23-yard line for Mike Bourne. Steve Moses, you may recall, as you look at him on the sidelines, he's the son of former Red Sox catcher Jerry Moses.
20 years ago.
From the late 60s, early 70s. Living up there in North Andover. And
25
good
years,
athlete.
right? The impossible dream.
Impossible dream season. The pennant was clinched 25 years ago this past week as Belanger carries for about 3. We have a flag down at the point of the tackle.
Maybe a face mask.
It is.
Yes.
It is a face mask penalty. They call it a 5-yarder.
Unintentional.
It's at the discretion of the officials to determine the intent of the defensive player. So it's a 5-yard penalty to the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. Boxers trying to add to a 21-0 lead. They have dominated throughout, have shown no signs of slowing up with the exception of the fumble by Bourne here on the first possession of the second half. They've done virtually everything right. This time it's Mosley for 5 yards.
Every time Brockton has an offensive play, it's just minimum of 5 yards gain. There's Steve Moses, maybe a little groggy.
Moses, the starting quarterback, the lone safety in the Eagles defensive set, and the place kicker.
Jeff Morse, number 21, is now playing safety. Well, now they've got 34, John Piscucci out there too.
Bourne pitches behind him, and he'll just dive on that one. Bourne will get it back at the 20-yard line.
Not Mike Bourne's fault right there. Not a very accurate pitch by Mike Shaheen. Maybe the first mistake he's made today is Brockton sends in their version of the three amigos. Landers, Semper, and Velios. Passing situation for Brockton.
This will be a 3rd down and 16.
The Brockton band starts up the Tomahawk Chop theme.
Actually, we'll call it 15 yards right from the 20-yard line. Well, they've had trouble inside the 20. Maybe they'll fare a little bit better at the 20.
Outside the 20.
Velios and Semper up top. Landers is at the bottom of your screen. And it is Velios over the middle. Has the catch, trying to break outside. Pat Velios gets a good block. A flag goes down as he's in for the score.
What a block by Mike Landers, number 12.
And I'm virtually certain this will come back because of a clip.
I
didn't see it, but that is the indication.
Best block of the year by Mike Landers. When we see that on replay. There's Pat Velios. Beautiful job of running. Watch number 12 after the ball is caught. Velios, beautiful job of making this catch, then the work afterwards. Illegal use of the hands. Now watch number 12 Right
there.
There. Oh, my, what a pop. I don't know where the illegal use of the hands was, but...
Well, an awful lot can happen in those situations where your ball carrier changes direction. And it's virtually inevitable that someone's going to, particularly a player who's not accustomed to upfield blocking. But Velios, great effort. It'll come back for a 3rd down and 11 at the 16-yard line. Again, the passing situation for Shaheen, who stayed in the pocket very nicely on that play. Corner, intended for Landers.
He's out at the 1.
Intended for Landers,
Jeff
and Jeff Morse, the cornerback, took it away. So the 2nd turnover of the quarter for the Boxers, but Prep will be back at their 2-yard line. This one looked a little bit doomed as Shaheen put it up.
Way short. His primary receiver, Mike, didn't look at anybody else. The Landers in the corner.
And questionable
but
guess by Jeff Morse to run it out of there.
In a situation like that, do you just want to bat the ball away? I mean, you've been in bad situations the whole day, and this is no better.
Matt Marvin, number 19, in at quarterback for the injured Steve Moses, and he'll throw right away. Upfield for Fournier, juggles the ball, but comes away with it.
Nice play.
And out across the 30-yard line.
That's the biggest play of the game for the Prep. Biggest play of the game.
So Matt Marvin steps right into the fire.
30-yard play.
On 1st down from his own 2, finds Fournier over the middle, and good hands by Andy Fournier to haul this in.
Juggling act,
1, 2, 3, 4 times.
5 before he finally got it.
Marvin a little bit bigger than Moses, about 1 inch and 5 pounds. And he's got them with a 1st down at their own 32-yard line. Well, perhaps they'll get him going, but Andy Fournier limps off the field. He's not in the lineup, and he's limping on the sidelines. Conrad, the receiver, tackled by Belanger, but appears to have the 1st down again. Andy Fournier, the big tailback for Prep, who caught that 1st down reception, limped off the field, but they didn't need him on this play.
This is following the exact script of last year's game. St. John's dominated the 1st half. Brockton comes back to tie it. Here's Fournier back in.
Conrad on the catch out of the backfield. Belanger the tackle. And in the final 40 seconds of the 3rd quarter, St. John's finally on the march. 1st and 10 from their 43. Behind the arm of Matt Marvin. He'll throw it again. Right side, knocked down by Warren. It's the wrong man to try to go over.
He's a mountain out there. 6'6", 295. Not a small boy at all. Joe Paterno at Penn State is drooling for the chance to get Brent up at College Station next year. No, Brent spent a couple weeks out there this summer. I was talking to his father for Joe Paterno's football camp, and that's why Joe's excited.
Temporary lull in the St. John's momentum with the knockdown pass by Warren. 2nd
haven't
down
heard the
10.
cowbell in a couple seconds.
Fournier back in motion, on the pitch. Doesn't have much room, and he's cut down by Velios in the backfield. Loss of 5.
What a job by Velios to play off number 84, Mike Kent, and then have the concentration to come over and make the tackle on Fournier. Nice play.
They'll give Fournier the close to the 40-yard line. So it's a loss of about 3.
How's this stat for Fournier? After 406 yards the first 2 games, 7 rushes, 5 yards today.
Oh my. He's caught a couple of balls as you look at him on the sidelines.
That's the end of the 3rd.
And the 3rd quarter comes to a close. St. John's showing some offense. Andy Fournier needing some work. And Prep still chasing by 21 as we go to the final 11 minutes. Don't go away.
I'm Edward Asner. You can see them at the finest places, well-bred, highly trained, and diligent at their work. They're guide dogs, enabling blind people to enjoy greater freedom and independence. And the law permits them everywhere that's open to the public. To learn more, call the Guide Dog Foundation for the Blind, toll-free, 1-800-548-4337. That's 1-800-548-4337.
Back at Marciano Stadium, and the Brockton band playing away. There's another injured Eagle. That's John Ophilos, the two-way player. Senior from Salem, has some knee trouble apparently.
Well, Matt Marvin came in 2 for 3, 42 yards. That's more than St. John's gained in the first half.
And now they've got themselves with a 3rd down and long after the big play by Velios to stop the option play.
Well, is it 2nd or 3rd down?
It is 3rd down. 3rd down and 13 from the 40. And Marvin looking to throw. And there was motion in the backfield, but no flag. And close to 1st down yardage for Pascucci. Pascucci started moving about 2 seconds before the snap.
Why no call? Let's be consistent here. Not just consistently bad.
He'll come up about a yard short. Pascucci on the carry.
St. John's has to go for it here. They need something.
4th down in Brockton territory now, I believe for the first time today. At the 49-yard line. Big play for the Prep. Marvin, a little stumble as he comes away from center, now throws it towards the right side and caught. Terrific catch.
Andy Toner. Beautiful catch. He caught it on his back.
The junior receiver with his first reception of the day, and a big one on 1st down. Looked like that play was doomed. Marvin stumbled coming away from the center, then almost ran into his running back.
Plus he had Bernard and Velios right in his face.
Throwing on the run, and then the receiver falls down, but he makes the catch.
He's on the ground by that time. Nice play.
Motion again, and no call. Thrown over the middle to the tight end, Kent.
Illegal motion again, and again no call. You know, they called it on Jason Mosley in the 1st quarter. I don't understand why these aren't being called.
Hey, open your eyes, ref!
St. John's needs all the help they can get right now, and they're getting it, absolutely.
Down to the 22-yard line. And it's the referee who's in the offensive backfield, has the best view of that play, and twice now, players have moved before the snap. That one was borderline.
Touchdown.
For Fournier, touchdown. So Marvin leading the attack as St. John's breaks the ice.
Matt Marvin, very impressive. In all reality, you got to give that to the Whitecap, too. Matt Marvin, 5 for 6, 88 yards. Maybe he should have started today's game. Moses is out there for the snap.
Matt Marvin, with a minute and a half gone in the 4th quarter, came in when Moses got shaken up and leads the scoring drive for the Eagles. And looks very confident doing it. We know he's played quarterback before. This is not a first-time situation for him.
They got a man short there.
Fournier hustling in now as Joe Delansky gets set to put up the extra point attempt. It is up and it is good. So with 9:29 to play, St. John's is on the board. Trailing 21-7.
Matt Marvin, very impressive in the backfield there, very impressive. Fournier split right up the middle, post pattern, nice connection right there for 6 points.
And Fournier definitely more effective catching the ball out of the backfield today than running it.
St. John's isn't back yet.
You don't want to sound like sour grapes, but if we saw those plays again, I think it's pretty clear that people were moving before the snap.
Well, everybody in the stands saw it, but the referee, and he's in the offensive backfield.
St. John's using the quick count to get
Maybe
the ball
sun's
moving.
In his eyes. I don't know.
At any rate, it's 21-7. St. John's, after collecting only 22 yards offense in the first half and not much better in the 3rd quarter. There's Steve Moses. He'll kick off, but I'm quite certain that when St. John's next gets the ball, it will be Matt Marvin. who will do the quarterbacking. Not certain what it is that's ailing Moses, but Marvin is healthy, I can tell you that. Only the second kickoff of the day.
Onside, possibly.
For Steve Moses. He'll send it away, the line drive. And just 2 men back there. This is Troy Semper carrying the ball for the first time. Semper. And a flag goes down behind him. As Semper gets out to the 30, another flag at the point of tackle.
You know, where are the flags when Brockton needs them?
Sal DiMartinez on the tackle for St. John's, but 2 separate penalties apparently being called here.
I'm going to put my money they're both on Brockton. I know the first one is. The second one is yet to be seen.
At least one of them is on the prep. At least that's the indication from Chris Sykos. We'll wait for the official to make the call.
Ball might not move.
I think it's the actual.
We've got a holding call on Brockton.
You can't.
And perhaps you're right. Perhaps there were 2 calls against the Boxers. In which case, 1 would be marched off.
Got a
more
clip.
severe. I would have guessed the second one would have been a face mask or some sort of.
I'll tell you what, the
tackling
referee is
penalty.
giving St. John's more yards than they've gained the whole game. We're up 21-7, and let's be thankful that we are. Because the way this is going right now,
Oh, here we go. This is a back and forth. Illegal use of the hands called against Brockton. So they march off that penalty.
And then they're going to
now they'll
back
march
10.
off the personal foul penalty.
15 or 10, though?
Which will be 15 against St. John's.
So it'll end up Brockton with a 5-yard gain.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but wouldn't it be easier to
Could
just
just
march the
walk
ball
off
5
the
yards
5
forward?
yards. I hear you, man.
My math skills.
Maybe they like being the centers of attention.
My
I don't
math
know.
skills aren't that great, but I can do 10 minus 5.
I had it in my calculator already, Tim.
There you go. All right, so 2 penalties, not matching penalties, and a 5-yard net for Brockton gets it out to the 29-yard line.
See if the prep can come up with a big defensive stand now. They need one.
They've been unable to stop Brockton all day. Mike Bourne. Close to first down yardage.
Look at Fournier going for that ball.
Let's remember, too, on the first possession of this second half, the Boxers were knocking at the door. Bourne was heading for the end zone on a first down carry. And the ball popped loose. St. John's recovered, and Brockton was shut out on that drive. They were stopped again on an interception on their next drive. So they came into the half leading 21-0. Twice got within the 20-yard line of St. John's and came up empty. Then Prep scored, so now it's still a 14-point game when the Boxers could have opened it up to a much wider margin. Belanger up the middle for the first down.
Don't forget, we'll be picking our Cape Cod Cafe most valuable player of the game, and it's up for grabs right now. I have an idea who I want, but that doesn't mean that Tim wants the same player. I usually win out, though.
We'll open it up for discussion. Maybe we'll set up a 1-900 number, and people can vote on tape. 8:17 and the clock running. Boxers leading 21-7. And with a first down at their own 45. Mike Bourne. Another big hole and another 10 yards for Bourne.
Look who's leading the way. Look who's downfield with Mike Bourne. 34, Jason Mosley, was untouched till he got 10 yards deep in the backfield, the defensive backfield. That's what kind of physical domination that Armin Colombo loves to see and what Brockton fans love to see.
Carbon copy of the first play of this drive. Bourne comes up just short of the first down. We'll see if Belanger gets the call on second down again. No, Shaheen will keep it, and he'll get the first down and more. Conrad takes him down, a flag on the far side of the field.
This game probably would have been over by now if it wasn't for all the flags.
Now you have to remember there were a couple of non-flags that kept the game moving, too.
True. On the prep.
But it's a penalty on the prep of 5 yards. Face mask is the call, unintentional. So tack it on to the end of the run, and the Boxers moving inside the 35-yard line to the 34, 1st and 10.
You know, it looks like Larry Ames of the Boston Globe is going to eat crow 2 weeks in a row. He picked Cathedral over Brockton last week, and he picked the Prep over Brockton today.
Well, the Boxers could certainly use a score here. Prep able to put together the quick strike on the last possession. And trailing by 2 touchdowns, Brockton wants to open up that 3-touchdown margin again. Bourne is shoved backwards after a gain of 2. Kent on the stop. Also Toner. So Brockton in control in the first half.
St. John's touchdown drive was 98 yards. I mean, that was a substantial drive and very quick too. So they have proved, although it took 3.5 quarters to do, that they can pass, and it took 2 quarterbacks to prove.
Second down 9 from the 33. Mosley, good hole over the left side, and a
Look
gang
at Brent
tackle.
Warren. He's still not down.
Whistle blows with 5 Prep tacklers surrounding Jason Mosley.
Brent Warren was trying to push Mosley up there. Brent just said, forget about it. We're not going anywhere. I'm going to save it for later in the game.
And the second effort by Mosley puts Brockton very close to another first down. It'll be 3rd and short from the 25.
Nice effort. Marvin with the shirt tackle. Watch big Brent Warren, 56. He's just going to walk away after a while.
And first down carry as Shaheen keeps it again. Second time on this drive he's done that to pick up the first down, and the Boxers continue to march and continue to run the clock down.
Bourne 132 yards, Mosley 43, Belanger 39, and Shaheen now with 9 yards. So another combined effort by the Brockton triple threat offense. Quadruple threat, I guess, with Mike Shaheen.
The 4 horsemen.
And, well, Shaheen 1 for 2, 40 yards.
First down from the 23. Brockton able to keep the clock moving using the ground attack, and Belanger breaking into the open, dragging Fournier ahead, and another first down for Brockton.
Dragged Fournier plus 51.
That's DeMartinez.
DeMartinez took him for a little ride there. Should have charged fair for that one.
Served a meal on that.
This side of the field, very quiet.
Well, they had something to cheer about a few moments ago, and they needed a big defensive stand by the Prep, but Brockton went back to their grinded out offense, and they're down to the 12-yard line of Prep. Shaheen, good fake, but in trouble. Gets out of trouble. All the way to the back to the left side of the field, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. A flag down in the backfield.
Very late flag. You know, that flag was very late. It's going to be a clip.
It's a clip.
But it happened a good 5. At the end of the play, the referee threw it. The play was already down and the flag came.
He's indicating that it happened at the 17, so they'll march it off from there. Shaheen got back near the 12-yard line where the play had started.
What an effort by Mike Shaheen as you look here. He ran about 50 yards for a gain of 3. Nice effort right there. You saw the flag right there. It occurred while Shaheen was making his cutback, and the flag is just thrown right there.
Well, it's a 15-yard call, pushes Brockton all the way back to the 32-yard line.
You know, for the second week in a row, the officiating has been just horrendous. And that could be an understatement.
1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Bourne to the 30. Marvin on the tackle, and Fournier. And Conrad.
Kenny Blaska leading the tacklers for St. John's.
Timeout in the field. Yes, St. John's is calling a timeout.
Stopping the clock with 4:14 to play. 21-7 is our score. The Boxers on top. Mike Bourne has 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion run. There's your situation, except that it will be second down when the play resumes. Next Saturday, the 10th of October, back here in Marciano Stadium. The Boxers with their third straight home game, hosting Fitchburg and Zach McCall, one of the perennial powers in Central Massachusetts. Somebody was commenting to us earlier today about the strength of the Boxers' schedule, and it really is the most competitive schedule we've seen in some
absolutely,
time.
absolutely. When you look at Xaverian, the #1 ranked team, they've been playing Division III teams for the past 2 weeks.
Brockton playing the 2 out-of-state powers from Staten Island, New York, Wagner High School, from Erie, Pennsylvania, Cathedral Prep. As you look at Austin Hover, a defensive lineman for, no, that's not Austin Hover.
Maybe in a few years. Yeah,
he wants to throw the ball.
He sure
he's
does.
not a lineman.
Maybe the Prep can use him.
He's a ball carrier. No question about it.
Got a couple footballs there. I don't know.
But to finish the thought, the 2 out-of-state powers, and then you've got the #1 ranked preseason team, Xaverian, on the schedule. Weymouth, which came into the season in the top 5. St. John's Prep, which is currently #4. So at one point, 3 of the teams ahead of Brockton and Eastern Mass were on the schedule. You've got Fitchburg and Leominster, 2 of the strongest teams in Central Massachusetts.
Put it this way, one of those 2 schools will be in the Central Mass Super Bowl.
You can virtually count on that every year. And that just leaves the 2 Big 3 games for Brockton, Durfee and New Bedford, and the game with Plymouth. But that is one tough schedule. 2nd down and 10 for the Boxers at the 30-yard line after the big penalty. Shaheen looking to throw. He's got one man over the middle, the tight end Pina, and it is out in front of Steve.
Brockton certainly doesn't have a schedule that Tom Osborne of Nebraska made out. Chattanooga State Division III powerhouse.
Well,
actually, that's Clemson who's playing Chattanooga State tonight.
Well, Tom Pileski has never been afraid to schedule tough opponents.
He doesn't have the luxury not to schedule tough opponents.
That's right.
If there's an opponent out there that's willing to play Brockton, he'll schedule it. St. John's is having a tough time too, obviously. They have 3 out-of-state games this year.
All right, 3rd down and long from the 30. Bourne breaking out to the right side, still on his feet, gets a big chunk back. He'll be well short of 1st down yardage, but gets back inside the 20. And it'll bring up an interesting call for Brockton. They need to get to the 3 for the 1st down.
I'd say you have to go for it. It's only 3:47 left. You're leaving St. John's with virtually no time to score 2 touchdowns.
It'll bring in a 4th down and 13 situation from the 16. And Bourne.
Mike Bourne, 148 yards today. Great day.
Coming through with the big play time and time again. As Shaheen talks it over with Armin Colombo, they'll take a timeout. 3:19 to play. Boxers face for the 4th down situation, as they have been on many occasions this afternoon, but they've come through on most of them. A couple of turnovers here in the 2nd half have prevented this from being a real runaway.
Really could be 35-7 right now, and really probably should be.
Well, of course, Prep only got the ball back for their scoring drive because of the interception.
Yeah, but there was also a penalty on that one too that brought back a big passing play to Velios.
That's right. There's John Ophelos getting some football pointers.
At least he's not taking it too toughly. It's only a game out there, remember that. Although we sometimes make it sound more than that, you know, that might be our job.
That's the nature of sports.
Hey, there's another future boxer right there. Looks happy out there.
Don't forget, we'll be traveling with the Boxers throughout the season. We'll see them take on Durfee. We'll see them play New Bedford, the 2 Big 3 opponents. We'll be there for the Xaverian game.
That's going to be the big one right there.
And, of course, Weymouth here on Thanksgiving Day. All right, here we go. 4th down and 12 from just outside the 15-yard line. Passing formation for the Boxers. Shaheen, straight drop, screen pass. Mosley, hit quickly, breaks a tackle. There goes Mosley for the score!
Touchdown, Boxers, number 34, Jason Mosley.
How's that for you?
Wow.
That's where size comes into big value. This game
4th down and 12.
over.
And Mosley from Shaheen for the score. Just over 3 minutes to play. And then Alan Bursey for the kick. It is good, and the Boxer lead is back to 3 full touchdowns at 28-7 as you take another look at it.
They've used this play so effectively, just a little dump out screen pass. Now watch Mosley do the rest. He's got one player, I'm not sure who it was. Couldn't see right there from after he passed that white shirt to free ride to the end zone. Nice play.
And
nice
with that
game.
7 points from the Boxers, they'll tack on $28 more to the Brockton High School Athletic Fund, courtesy of the Cape Cod Cafe. The Cod contributing $4 for every point scored by the Boxers. And we are now up to a season total of $352 into the BHS Athletic Fund, as you see some of the folks heading back to the North Shore.
Oh, no happy ride home today.
You remember back up at Danvers, the opener last year, when that piece of
The
railing
fell.
collapsed on the far side? I'm looking down at this group of
And they
St.
had
John's
probably
fans.
a lot of the same kids.
Well, it's the same idea here. A lot of the students standing throughout the game. They're down in the front and center of the visitor stands in front of us here, and they've been standing throughout. They were doing that a year ago up in Danvers and leaned on the railing. The whole thing gave way, and it's a miracle nobody was hurt. And it turned out to be a miraculous day for St. John's all along, all the way across the board, but not this time. Kent, the tight end, gets a piece of it. That's Pescucci.
To Morse.
Scratch that Morse. Scoots with it. Out to the 32-yard line. Stop made there by Landers. And the Boxers back in the driver's seat, 28-7 with 3:05 to play. Matt Marvin came in after the injury to Steve Moses to lead the Prep to their scoring drive in sterling fashion, but he's got a lot of work to do here. Over the middle for Fournier. They might come right back again. Jacques misses. Bourne misses. Touchdown Prep.
68 yards. Good thing Brockton did score that touchdown, I'll tell you. That's a quick strike right there. Brockton a little bit lackadaisical. St. John's taking advantage of it.
Prep unable to get their running game going today, including from Fournier, their star back there, so they've gone to the air. Marvin to Fournier again for the score.
6 for 7, 155 yards, Matt Marvin.
And 2 of them to Andy Fournier for touchdowns. Very quickly, 10 seconds off the clock since the Brockton score.
Little slant pattern, breaking Brockton right up the middle.
And Fournier showing some of the speed that's gotten him all those touchdowns this season and all those yards. 2-point attempt now, trailing by 15. Marvin. And intercepted by Belanger. He can run that back. Still on his feet. Grabbed by Marvin. A face mask is not seen.
Oh, come on, I
can take
saw
it
it
down at the
clear up
33-yard line.
Wow, that's bad. That's just bad.
Now, had Belanger returned that, it would be 2 points for Brockton.
How can't they call a face mask on that? I saw it clear up here.
Well, at any rate, Prep comes up empty, and they still
Wow.
trail by 15 with 2:55 to play.
What a play by Fournier. Outran Mike Bourne, and Mike Bourne's no slouch with speed, I'm telling you.
You know, I saw Jacques make the bid, and then I see number 28 is the last one there. I thought, well, if anyone's catching Fournier,
Mike
he's
Bourne.
the guy to have back there, but Fournier even ran out the speedster.
Little, too late.
68 yards for the score, and again, just 10 seconds off the clock. So that slant pattern is a killer once again. But the Boxer lead is 15.
Now Armin Colombo has all his hands people up front. You know the onside kick is coming.
You got Belanger, Shaheen, Landers, Velios, Jacques. It's a big bounce, and the Boxers will sit on it. I think that's Alan Bursey. Good reception by Bursey as the Boxers will take over at the 43. Took a nice big hop for Brockton. That's what you hope for. 2:52 to play. Boxers leading 28-13. They led 21-0 at the half, and it appeared that Prep couldn't have scored if he gave them the ball at the 2, but they've since come back behind Matt Marvin for 2 quick strikes. Marvin late getting on the field for this defensive play. Up the right side goes Mosley.
When they
8 yards.
when they have to stop Brockton, they can't. That's the important thing.
Boxers need to hold on to the ball and continue to pick up yardage as they have all day, and they will run that 250 down in no time at all. Clock stopped here with 2:43 to play as Prep calls a timeout.
That's their second timeout, I believe, so they have 2 more with 2:43 left. But the way they've been striking, hey.
10 seconds was all they needed for the last score. I wonder if some of those folks who made their exit after the Brockton touchdown got a good look at that 40-yard touchdown.
Brockton a little bit lax back there. They thought they had the game in hand. They still do have the game in hand, barring a drastic turnaround. But you saw what happens when you don't give 110% out there. One pass can do it for you. That's why people love this game, and it happens so quickly.
Did you ever imagine, however, as we came into this game today, that not only would Brockton so thoroughly dominate through most of the game, but that the only offense that Prep would be able to generate would be through the air?
Yeah, you really didn't expect that. Fournier virtually nothing on the ground. 2 big catches, though.
There are those Prep students standing at the front of the stands. This railing looks a bit more secure.
Brockton built.
Beautiful day for football. We've had 2 beauties. This one and the opening day game with Wagner. One so-so game against Plymouth.
And one beautiful
weather
last week.
Last week against Cathedral Prep.
I just dried out Tuesday from that game.
Up the middle and pushed to the right side, close to first down yardage.
St. John's calls another timeout. They have 1 left now.
That's their 3rd. Belanger on the carry. It looks to be a little bit short of the first down.
Well, let's see what they're calling now. Are they calling first down?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
The chains are moving. So Belanger, once again, Mr. Automatic on the first down carry.
It'll be interesting to see what Armin Colombo has to say about his team's performance today. I'll be talking to him right after the game.
Oh, the timeout on the field. The Boxers with the ball, with the first down, in Prep territory, trying to preserve or extend the 15-point lead. They played textbook football, as you see Jim O'Leary, in the first half, and only the arm of Matt Marvin and the legs of Andy Fournier have made this a ball game.
Respectable. This is a game where you really can't see the final outcome by the score. You really had to be there to see what kind of domination Brockton laid on.
Well, you go back to the St. John's game of a year ago, and as you mentioned earlier in the day, Steve, Prep dominated that first half the way Brockton had today, and it still turned into a 1-point game. Same thing could have happened today. Brockton just needs to hang on to the ball. They've got the first down. Mosley in motion. And Bourne, the ball carrier, hit quickly by Toner.
That's St. John's final timeout, I believe.
Bourne able to get to the 45, gain of 2, and the clock stopped with 2:26 to play.
Brockton with near 300 yards on the ground today.
Please join us next week. We'll be back here at Marciano Stadium. Fitchburg coming to town from Central Mass.
With Zach McCall.
That was an exciting game last year.
Oh, it sure was.
Up there in Fitchburg. I love those Friday night games in Central Mass. You got leaves on the ground and a chill in the air.
It was a beautiful
it was
night.
a mild night for the time of year.
Big crowd.
Big crowd. Always seems louder at night somehow. In the dark, the crowd seems louder.
The one thing that I like better, the crowd wasn't as ferocious as a Leominster crowd. You go to Leominster, if you're from Brockton, you don't wear red or black because you don't want to get caught walking through the stands, and you might get a left cross from somebody out there.
Of course, the Boxers will make that trip this year. They'll go back up to Leominster.
Up to Doyle Field.
Or Friday night before Halloween. I always think back to that game a few years ago when they went up there in the Halloween weekend. And you could just feel it as we approached the field that something was in the air and the spirits were working against Brockton that night as they were knocked from their number one perch.
For sure.
Mosley has some room. Grabbed quickly by Morse, but gets across the 40. Morse has the ball.
Wow.
Morse took it away. Jeff Morse at 5'8", 165 went head-to-head with Mosley and stopped his progress, then took the ball.
They've been trying that the entire second half to strip the ball. They've been trying mostly on Mike Bourne.
Watch 21 Morse. There's the contact, and thank you very much.
I don't know. His knees were down there. It looked that way.
He came away with it. First down from the 41-yard line. Wind is against Matt Marvin here. That won't stop him from throwing the ball. Knocked down by Persampieri. Jason Persampieri gets a big paw in the way. And the clock stops with 2:15 to play on the incomplete pass.
What Brockton's got to watch out for is that sneaky little draw play. They're looking for the pass.
Fournier's in the slot. Conrad is the lone setback, so Fournier looking to catch the ball. And going downfield is Marvin, picked off by Semper. Marvin looking for Brian Smith and perhaps didn't calculate for the wind.
That Kentucky windage here in Brockton. That should do it.
Semper picks up the third interception of the day. And the fifth turnover.
Nothing fancy, playing center field, ball wickedly underthrown. Fifth turnover for St. John's today.
3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. Boxers have turned the ball over twice here in the second half, and it's cost them some points as both turnovers came deep in prep territory.
3 turnovers
One of them in the end zone.
The strip from Jason Mosley.
That's right. That's right. Belanger straight ahead.
I don't believe St. John's can stop the clock here, so this should keep on going.
I think they've got 1 left.
2-minute warning, I believe. I think that was the 4. They've used 4 timeouts in the second half.
This is the 5th one. This is the 5th one, and this should do it. Yeah, the referee indicating that's the last one. So with exactly 2 minutes to play, Brockton with the ball at their own 40, looking to hang on to it. They've turned the ball over 3 times here in the second half. Once in the end zone, actually both times in the end zone. Bourne's fumble ended up in the end zone, and the pass that was intercepted was actually grabbed by Morse in the end zone and taken out to the 1, set up the first touchdown drive for Matt Marvin. And then the strip by Morse, taking it away from Mosley. So it's been a long 4th quarter after a very speedy first 3 quarters. Prep called the timeout, but they're already out there. And the offense for Brockton has to be very simple here. They run the ball virtually all day long. They don't want to gamble on an interception at this point, so keep running it. You've got the 3 horses to do the job.
And they've done the job. Triple threat.
Stick around for our Cape Cod Cafe MVP of the day. An announcement coming up following the game. Ooh, Mosley moved, and that's a break for Brockton as Bourne gets about 2 before Moses puts the wraps on him. Mosley picked his upper body up.
Payback.
None of the officials saw it apparently, and the Boxers avoid a 5-yard penalty.
St. John's out of timeouts.
And the clock runs down to 1:35. It'll be a 3rd down play for Brockton, with about 6 yards to go for the first down. And it's a big first down to keep the drive alive. Mosley in the slot. Belanger and Bourne in the eye behind Shaheen. Mike Bourne around the right side. First down. He slipped right at the first down marker. And actually, they'll mark him down right about at that point. Fournier got a piece of him, but they've indicated the first down, and that will keep the drive moving. And the clock continues to run down to the 1-minute mark. Boxers only need to keep the ball and keep that clock running, and they can wrap up this victory here at Marciano Stadium. Steve Alley has made his way down to the sideline. He'll catch up with Armin Colombo after the game. And Shaheen can just put his knee down. He put the ball up in the air before he downed it. A little bit dangerous. And that should be the final play as we get to the final 30 seconds. Boxers opening up the big lead early and then hanging on as Matt Marvin led the prep charge back. But the Boxers moving to 3-1 as Shaheen puts his knee down again. 3-1 on the season, their 3rd straight victory. And the Boxers certain to move up in the Eastern Mass rankings ahead of St. John's Prep as they knock off the number 4 team. With a 28-13 victory over St. John's Prep of Danvers. Steve Alley has caught up with Armin Colombo, and we'll send it down to him in just a moment. Steve, you all set? Take it away.
Good we played.
Let's go. Are you ready? Huh? Okay. You ready? Wow.